Hello, I am Vicente, and last month I showed you how to use Make's new if-else module, and today I'm going to show you how to use the new release they included, which is the nested if-else. So today we're going to fix a big scenario that is the perfect use case for this, and I'm going to show you how you can also include it in your scenarios. Okay, so I have this very big scenario which is part of my lead management system where we receive leads in Slack and we can take several actions. We can approve, ask for more information, or disqualify based on different reasons. The response to that action in Slack is sent in a webhook to this scenario, and then a lot of things happen. We modify the data, I look for more data in Airtable, I create a company contact in HubSpot, and then here at the very end of the flow, based on the action that was taken, we do several things. We either create a deal in HubSpot and then update Airtable with some of those fields, or we draft rejection responses based if we are asking for more information or if we reject the submission. I think this is the perfect use case for using the nested if-else, so come with me to fix it. I prefer if-else because it's going to allow you, when the conditions are met, to always go through the path that you define. In the case of the router, you need to create an excluding condition, meaning that if, for example here, if the text operator contains approved, it will go through here. But if it also contains info, it will go through here. And I don't want that. I always want it to go through one path or the other. And lastly here, this is good from the router, is that whatever is the case, I'm always going to run this super scenario, which is an update I always want to do. Okay, what is the plan? We're going to refactor this part of the flow. The first condition is if we approve it, a deal will be created and an update will happen. Since the update always happens, this call to super scenario will happen at the very end, wherever is the case. So that will be at the end. And then if the deal is not approved, we have another split on the if-else, which is if we want more information or we want to reject. That will create two different prompts and they will merge again to send an email, because in the case of these emails, we personalize with the text response here, but then the ending of the email is always the same. So we can basically merge these two into one, and then we will only split based on the personalization if we want more information or reject. Okay, so let's do it. First things first, we're going to add here a new module, which is if-else. Great. Let's kind of try to replicate what happens here. So if the action type is approved, I'm going to copy this. You can collapse this because HubSpot has a lot of fields. If, as you can see here, we have the data, action taken, which will be here. If it contains approved, great. We're going to name this path. And look how simple is this. If it's approved, it will go through this path. Else is any other situation. So else is valid for more information and rejected, right? Here we're going to add another if-else that is going to split again based if we want more information or we rejected it. So I'm going to call this one info, and if the action taken contains info, it will go through this path. So actually I can already delete this and link. Great. You can see more or less where is it going. I think I can already delete the big router. Now it's going to be a bit messy, but stay with me because approve goes this way. And then if the other case is rejection, right? So we're going to connect this. Great. And now we have all the possibilities. What are we going to merge now? Well, whatever comes from these two, the email is the same, right? So I'm going to disconnect this. and I'm going to add a merge module. Nice. You can see here that, okay, if we want more information, the prompt here is about, hey, you draw a personalized email asking for more info, while the prompt here is a rejection. Okay, so the merge, let's see what happens here. Output name is, let's call it response draft, I don't know, something like that. It's not able to see whatever comes out of the Anthropic module simply because it's not run, so it's not in memory. So let's assume it, we will do a test run, and when it breaks, we will map it out the rest. That's how I usually do it. So, and the outcome of this is going to be the email. Okay, we can delete this one. Great. Now, let's merge these two, right? So this is basically the same. In the case of this scenario, which takes the Airtable record ID, I only pass the HubSpot deal ID. And in the case of this one, I update all of the other fields except from the HubSpot deal ID. So we want, basically, since it's the same scenario, we want to call it all at the same time. Okay, I will delete this. I will unlink this. And then we're going to do another merge. Which is going to merge. If it's approved, we will create a deal. That only happens in that path. Else, which is the other situations, well, if we ask for more information, we will create one type of message. If we reject it, we will create a different type of message. But they both have to send a rejection or more information email. And then after that, we are also going to update the record ID in Airtable. Great. Now it's way more clean. Let's sort it out a bit more because I think this is a bit ugly. You can also use this feature, but since the flow is huge, I'm not sure I want to do it. So I will do it manually. We send the email. Okay, I will keep it like this. You can also select all of these things and kind of move them closer and make it look cooler. There's some safe changes because here in this merge, we are not able to identify what happens in Claude, right? This is mapped, so we will need to map these two outcomes in the merge, then to the email, and then here in this merge, we need to map everything. I will show you now how. Okay, so let's test it with a test run, even though this mapping is not fixed. So I'm going to run this one, which is a more information request. Everything is created, great. It goes down the lower path. And then here, we are probably sending an empty email, but now we can access whatever happened in the previous modules. So you can see here, the 21 number module, we're going to grab the text response. And if it's the lower path, the rejection, we're going to grab the one of the 23rd. Great. So whatever they do, it will land here. And that's what we can use here in the email as response draft variable. Okay, great. And then finally, in the last mapping here, we want to update all of the fields. We want to update the Airtable record ID. In this case, it's from two different tables. You usually would use this one. I'm going to use this one. It's just a lookup to other table. And then we're going to update the action taken, which we have from other modules of the scenario. So that's going to be action taken is info, the user ID who did it, Maxim, the HubSpot company ID, that's going to be when we created the company. So that's going to be this ID. While in this run is not accessible, if it happens, it will appear. So I'm going to save it, and I'm not going to wait for the scenario to finish. So now we should have everything mapped, right? Now, again, we went from a router with 3 different paths and then a fallback and then repeating calling to sub scenarios and repeating modules of email to a cleaner way where we nested if else and we use merge to take everything back to the same path. Let's test it. So if I go to this one with a warning, let's go to this one, an approval. It works, it went through the path of creating the deal, and it updated everything else. Great. I can just save, and now I confidently can say that I have a more efficient workflow, and the next step maybe would be to abstract all of this part as a sub-workflow and call it action taking logic or something like that. But for now, I'm quite happy. Very clean, very nice. I think if else is the way to go in 99% of the cases. So yeah, I hope it was clear and you liked it.